Located in the Parowan Gap, 14 miles north of Cedar City, are several petroglyphs that many archaeologists believe to be solar calendars and migration movements. But nobody can dispute the accuracy of one of nature's mysterious meteorologists. This is the Overseer. His name is Tuvets, and for only 2 days in November at sunrise, you can watch him swallow the sun into its winter home. This was interpreted by the natives that if you had not left for your winter quarters yet, now was the time to do so, because the coldest of the weather was coming. On Saturday, a few dozen Iron County residents braved the cold morning weather to watch him warn those in attendance of the cold weather to come. The process reverses itself in March when Tuvets can be seen spitting the sun out of its winter home, but for now it's going to get cold.
These ancient people understood movement of the earth and the moon and the sun and the relationship to the time of day and the seasons. And so wherever they went, they set up a sundial. They would set that up using rocks. And then they got into their calendar system and developed that. And so they would also set up a calendar system. Here, when they got here, the sundial is already set up for them. It's all natural. They didn't have to go place things. They just had to sit back and observe. We went to the big cave, and the archaeologist removed the top layer, and he found some petroglyphs. And so he carbon dated the materials, the artifacts that were there, and discovered that those dated back to 225 AD. But the petroglyphs were on the floor. So the archaeologists dug down further, and sure enough, there was another sublayer of artifacts. And this time when the carbon dating came back, it came back between 2500 and 3000 BC. For at least 5,000 years, people were traveling through here. So now the gap becomes the I-15 corridor of the past, because this is a major travel route. And the people, as they came through, they left their messages of where they found water, where they found food, what they believed in. Now, when I came out here in 84, we came out here and met with Zella and Alva Matheson. Alva has spent a lot of time with the Paiutes. As we were out here, he pointed out at that point in time the Overseer. As Alva explained it, he said this was one of their gods who watched over them and protected them. But then back in the 1990s, when we had the archaeologist and solar engineer out here working, we discovered what one of his purposes is. And that is to, again, tell them critical points, seasons of the year. Sun comes up, the darkness out here, the lights comes from that way into the gap. And so that light comes into the gap and covers you over. And as it covers you over, it hits that pointed rock over there, casts a shadow, and there's actually scratch marks on one rock, and it will hit one of those lines, and then in 2 days it moves to the next line, and the next line every 2 days until it moves till about 3 days before the equinox, and then it stays here in the center in the equinox for about 5, almost 6 days, and then it hits that line and moves back every 2 days, one line. And they can tell if they're coming into the equinox or coming away from the equinox, so they know, okay, spring's here, we need to, start thinking about planting. There's probably maybe less than 5 places in the whole world that things are lined up naturally. There's places that they make things, like Stonehenge, also Chaco Canyon. This is one of it, probably less than 5 places in the whole world that it's naturally set up, because in looking at it, we get the summer solstice sunset. So for the summer solstice, the fall and spring equinoxes, the winter solstice,